Almost 200,000 miles on a BMW? How is that even possible? But wait, it's still broken. Let's find out what's broke. Let's get started. Go, go, Power Rangers!
Wizard, you don't like BMWs.
Wait a minute here. You scheduled it, Mrs. Wizard.
I know, but it seemed like it was going to be an easy repair for you.
It is an easy one, but it's still broken. Let me put this aside and we'll start talking about this X5. Guys, I think you could go to any modern car in a Walmart parking lot and open the hood, and the engine shield will look like you're a Power Ranger if you put it on you. I don't know why that is. I still think that's so strange. But anyways, this is a 2006 BMW X5. I really like these body styles, although I'm not a big BMW fan. You guys already know that. This customer is local and actually called when Mrs. Wizard was doing some office work. She decided to go ahead and schedule it in because it just had one issue. That's it. And that was misfires. We're going to dive in today and find out what is causing the misfire and the reason why this has almost made it to 200,000 miles. Let's go ahead and take a look around this X5. Here's a BMW with some average sized kidneys in the front. Today they're as tall as a skyscraper. Also, the front looks like a BMW, not like an alien insect like all the new cars look like today. This is the 3.0i, has some nice 5-spoke wheels. I really like this generation of X5. It's classy, it looks nice. This one's not rusted out. It appears to be in very good shape, especially for its high miles. Let's go ahead and hop under the hood. Normally I don't work on a lot of BMWs. I'm so glad the customer brought me this car before it became an absolute disaster. Knowing when to get help is important. That goes for many things in our life, our health, home, and even debt. Debt makes it feel like you're stuck in neutral, racking up interest while you're not going anywhere. While I fix cars, PDS Debt fixes people's finances. They've helped hundreds of thousands take back the wheel and get moving again. I know if I needed this product, it's what I'd use. PDS Debt has custom options to help you get out of credit card, personal loan, or medical debt. They go beyond the numbers to understand your unique situation. They create a personalized plan just for you that pays down your debt and puts more money in your wallet. Can you trust them? Yes, they have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and thousands of 5-star reviews on Google. Every month you wait costs you more in interest and fees. The best time to start was yesterday. The next best time is right now. Don't wait another month. Get back in the driver's seat in 30 seconds. Get your free personalized assessment and the best option for you at pdsdebt.com/carwizard. That's pdsdebt.com/carwizard. Don't forget, that's pdsdebt.com/carwizard. Now back to this X5. So this is a really special model. It doesn't have the 3-liter, it has a 7.8 liter. Take a look, guys.
Wizard, this is the window washer reservoir.
Oh, sorry. Wrong numbers. In all honesty, you probably expected to see a 4.4 V8. Don't buy one of those. Whether it's a Range Rover 04, 05 with the 4.4 BMW V8 or an X5, those engines are trash. They're garbage. If you want to get an X5 of this generation, get it with this engine, the 3-liter inline 6. No, it's not a V6. It's an inline 6. Take a look. Here we have some rags covering over the spark plug holes. We don't want anything falling down in there. But this is a long boy. It goes all the way from the radiator, all the way to the firewall almost. But these are very reliable engines. They're very easy to work on, except for, just like every BMW of the early 2000s, and even in today, they have what I call achy breaky plastic. Everything is cheap black plastic and it's just begging for you to barely touch it so it can snap and crack and break and create vacuum leaks. Let me show you up underneath this intake manifold, which is also plastic. So here we have a CCV hose, crankcase ventilation, that goes under the intake to the CCV valve, which is kind of hard to get to, and they always fail. You'll get a BMW that has a vacuum leak or a seemingly vacuum leak or oil consumption and things of that nature. It ends up being a failed CCV valve or PCV valve, whatever you want to call it. Those can be a pain to get to, and also, let me show you where there's more plastic that can break on these. All the cooling system has tons of achy breaky plastic. This reservoir is known to crack and break and then lose all your coolant and overheat your engine. Over here we have more achy breaky plastic. I'm not even going to push on it to demonstrate because it'll probably break, so I'm not touching it. This goes to the secondary air injection. Look, there's more here as well that goes up to a little filter. Right here on the air intake is kind of an accordion, and you can see it's already started to disintegrate. If I were to push on it, it will probably just crumble. But this coolant reservoir I just mentioned down below, it connects to some more plastic pipes and things that go into the radiator side tank. It's just waiting to break. Make sure you service these and take care of them and monitor for any leaks, because I have seen many of these BMWs where that has failed. No one realizes it, and it doesn't really register right away that your engine's overheating because there's no coolant to measure. It's all gone. And then you bring it to a shop and the engine's shot. It's overheated to holy hell. It is a known problem on the BMWs of this era, the achy breaky plastic. However, if you take care of these and maintain them just like this one, you can get quite a bit of miles on them. So before we dive into what's wrong with this one and what's broken on it, let's let Mrs. Wizard show you guys around the interior. It's really nice, actually.
It's 189,432 miles. Wow, that is a lot of miles for this German car. So like the gauge cluster, very easy, simple to use. Okay, yeah, and the airbag light's on. That's the only light we've got so far, and that's because it's in accessory mode. But as we move up, you'll see dash. It's in nice shape. Maybe a little dusty. Got our airbag door right there. We have some wood trim. We've got a very long and sleek and skinny radio controls there, and I bet, voila, it pops up so we can drop in a few CDs if we'd like. There we go. Below that, we've got our HVAC controls. We've got controls for some of the doors and other features of the car, plus the oh so nice heated seats, especially this time of year. As we move down, got our ashtray with a charging port. Got, I don't know why we have two cigarette lighters in there, but nonetheless, it's what it is. And it stays and it catches. Got our gear selector, lots of wood trim around here. Then we have a roll top desk style cover. And yeah, there's some dust in there and grime. Okay, that happens. This is a 20-year-old car. But even yet, after 20 years, it's still looking really nice. We lift up here. Ooh, we've got toothpicks and an eraser. Nice. Then we lift up this section, and we've got a lint roller and, charge ports. Okay. What everybody needs in a car. The leather in here is a camel leather. It's looking really good. Don't have much bolster on the sides because we don't need it, because it's called a BMW SUV. Now, if this was one of their more sporty models, yeah, we'd have some bolster. Our door card is looking very nice. I like the steel accents on that. Very much sea of camel over there. But everything is looking nice. Nothing's broken. Nothing's tarnished. We have a little bit of marring on that armrest, but what do you expect after 20 years? Let's get to our back seat. We do have a lovely bench seat with a 40-60 split with a lot more of that camel leather. And we have a nice cargo area in the back and a very large panoramic moonroof, which is covered with a shade at the moment. But everything is still looking very nice. As we're back at that steering wheel, we've got that lovely BMW symbol here in the center with lots of controls here on the sides to control everything that, it's over there. I don't know, there. Nonetheless, it's not a very far reach, but they're all available right there as well. So enough of this interior talk. Let's get this up in the air and see what it looks like on the underneath.
So with almost 190,000 miles, let's see what we're looking at on this X5. Right under the radiator core support, I don't see anything leaking with coolant or anything like that. I do see some seepage going on this panel here. And yep, it's very likely this guy. This is the oil drain plug, and you can see it's wet, dripping and kind of just spraying around here. That can be addressed at the next oil change. While that's off, put a new sealing washer on and take wherever they have their oil changes, hopefully here, they can get that taken care of. Let's check these wheels. Brakes are about 80% remaining. CV boots are good. Looks like this lower control arm's been replaced probably within the last year or two. Nothing loose. Struts are not leaking. Sway bar link is not loose. Same story over here. Brakes look good. CV boots are good. Strut looks fine. Nothing loose there. Nothing loose on the wheel. So as we move back to the transmission, I see a sticker from yesteryear. This is back when BMW and a lot of manufacturers started pushing the lifetime transmission oil. Take a look. It says, warning, lifetime oil. That's because they expected it to last 100 and 150,000 miles and you get rid of it. Why are you still trying to make it last? That's a lie. It should be serviced at 100,000 miles. If it hasn't been, like I don't know that this one has or not, we'll ask the customer. I would not be interested in touching it at almost 200,000 miles because then we could be running into trouble. If it's doing fine, leave it alone. But don't buy into this lifetime anything on anywhere on your car. It's a lie. We've talked about in previous videos, the lifetime is the first owner's 100,000 miles, maybe 150. Their lifetime is not 400,000 miles, which is what you're trying to do. Here's our front drive shaft. It has a little tiny flex disc. It appears to be in good shape. It's not cracked. We can see underneath the intake on the back side of the engine. I don't see any major leaks going on there. Here's our transfer case, and it is also dry. This is also something that should be serviced. We will let the customer know if they'd like to go through with services or not, but there is fluid in there separate from the transmission. Here we have another flex disc, which also shows no cracks or damage, just minor wear, some minor tiny little lines in it, but nothing that's going to be damaging. We do have a center support here with the bushing, appears to be in good shape still. Our U-joint is not loose. Here's our fuel tank with some plastic shielding. Our exhaust, which is 2 into 2. 2 in, 2 out. On a 6-cylinder, inline 6. Here's our rear differential, no leaks going on. CV boots look good. Our brakes are about 60 to 70% remaining on the back. The shock is not blown out. Sway bar link is good. And nothing loose there. Sorry you couldn't see much on the last one. The lower control arms are massive on these in the back. Our CV boots are both good. They're not cracked or leaking any grease. Our shock is not blown out. Sway bar link is good. Brakes are about same 60 to 70%. And nothing loose there either. And we still have dual exhaust going out the back. If it was a V8, they probably have true duals. And I think at the exhaust manifolds, they have 2 sets of 3, which come down into 2 separate exhausts. Here's a little tray here. Everything looks pretty good except for the minor leak up front. Let's check out the date codes on the tires. So these tires were put on this year. They are the 30th week of 2025. These are some Douglas Touring All Seasons. I've used Douglas tires on cheaper cars in the past. I've never had any trouble. I don't fault them for putting them on a BMW because it has almost 200,000 miles. This is not a $90,000 car anymore. Kudos to them. Keep it on the road as long as it can without breaking the bank. These are pretty good tires. So those don't need to be replaced. They're brand new. Let's get this thing on the ground. So it came in misfiring. Danielson scanned the codes. It had P0305, which is misfire cylinder number 5. He did remove the spark plugs and switch them around. Nothing changed. He did inspect the bores of the cylinders to make sure they weren't scratched while the spark plugs are out. Everything looked healthy. This is something you can do at home, and let me show you what we found. So here we have our 6 ignition coils and our 6 spark plugs. Again, if you have number 5 cylinders misfiring, what you can do is change it with number 3. Take them out, swap them around like this. Now if your check engine light code changes, which you'll need a code reader to do this, maybe you can use one at your parts store or buy a cheap one on Amazon. If now it goes from P0305 to P0303, you know that it is a spark plug issue. But if you change them around, you still have the same code with the same cylinder, you move on to the next thing, which is the coils. Take a look. Out of all 6 of these coils, this was the one that was bad. Danielson tested it. He even wrote, as you can see, bad on there. This one wasn't even sparking. It wasn't doing anything. And he did the same thing we just did with the spark plugs, but with the coils, like this. Obviously, this is on the car and the engine. And now it said P0303 instead of 05. Now number 3 is misfiring, not number 5 anymore. What does that tell you? The coils are bad. So that's what we found causing the misfire. It's just a coil issue. These are possibly the original coils, I'm not sure. But they are probably at the end of their life, especially if they are original. The spark plugs as well. So like I just mentioned, with the V8s, if you're looking at an X5 or an early 2000s Range Rover like 03, 4, 5 range, don't get the V8 in either of those, because even though it's a Range Rover, it's an English brand owned by Land Rover, they still used BMW 4.4 liter V8s. These engines are not good. Do you remember our Range Rover we had, Mrs. Wizard?
Yeah, that rolled off the truck with broken timing chains. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and in fact, what is so bad about that engine? The timing chain guides and the timing system fails, and it can grenade the engine. Actually, here's a picture. You see all those brown broken plastic pieces. You can remove your lower oil pan and there'll just be all these broken plastic pieces laying in the bottom. You don't want that trouble. It's thousands upon thousands of dollars to fix. So, oh, this X5 is such a good deal, but it's got the V8. Look for one with the 3-liter inline 6 like this one. You can get some good miles out of it. It can last quite a while. And if you did miss Mrs. Wizard's interior review, you should go back, because this era and even before into the late 90s, I love interiors of BMWs. That's the one thing I do like about them. The way that they design it, the way it's laid out, it looks so classy. I don't know why they can't do that today. They stopped. But these look so good on the interior. If you do find one of these with the inline 6, go ahead and get a pre-purchase inspection, just like I tell you guys on any car you buy. I get lots of questions. Hey, I'm looking at this car. Is it a good car? It doesn't matter if it's a good car or a bad car. The real answers you're looking for are going to be when you schedule with your local mechanic and have a pre-purchase inspection done. Then they'll say, this is broke, this is leaking, this is, and then you know where you stand. But any of these older BMWs, maybe you get it for $3 grand, $4 grand. Expect to put another $3 or $4 grand into going front to back. Go ahead and renew the cooling system before it blows up. Don't wait till you're on the side of the road to do that. Go ahead and do it now. Go do the CCV. Do all the things that is known to fail on these. Take care of it. Then you could have a really nice vehicle for quite a while. And again, I do love the styling of these X5s. They look nice. But regardless, you guys know I'm not a BMW fan. Most of the time when we get calls for BMWs, we send them to Car Ninja. You guys have seen him on Hoovie's Garage. His name is Johnny. He owns German Motor Works there in Wichita. He is a BMW guru. I mean, an absolute master of them. If you do purchase a BMW, make sure you also purchase roadside assistance, because you're probably going to be left on side of the road. That's why I don't like them. Another reason why I don't like them is you guys have no idea how many times I've had customers in the waiting room in tears because their cooling system blew up, or this blew up, or that went wrong, and they're like, I just don't have this kind of money, and I like this car, and it has broken the bank of so many customers. I started to get a really bad taste in my mouth for BMWs. I really didn't like them. Most of the 3 Series, and especially some of the cheaper models of BMWs, if you maintain them like you're supposed to, they can be a decent vehicle. Here's the problem. No one ever does. They don't. You get a 3 Series in with 140,000 miles, somehow it made it that far, and it needs everything under the sun because all of it's been neglected. All of it's been forgotten. They didn't service squat.
Yeah, I remember that with that Range Rover we had. I don't think they ever did an oil change on it.
They didn't do anything. Now you get to get caught up on all of it, and because they haven't serviced anything, it's caused damage. That is also a downfall of BMWs. No one ever services them. You should. But I definitely wanted to get a video out to you guys to show you sometimes a BMW can have small minor problems. If you take care of them, they can last a while. And how I do really like the X5. If you're curious what kind of tools we're going to use to work on this BMW or any other car in the shop, check our Amazon affiliates link in the description below. Great gift ideas for the holidays. A lot of the tools are listed there for sale. We actually use every day in the shop. If you buy any of them, we get a small cut and really appreciate it. Make sure to hit the subscribe button here because there's so many more cool videos to come. Thanks for watching.